All right, who's online? Who wants to talk mirrorless, discuss the Canon revolution, the EOSR? Just some quick thoughts, quick observations. Did a new shoot with it, did an architectural shoot. Now remember, these images that I'm working with and I'm going to be sharing are in-camera JPEG files. Hey Greg, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, look, I could wave at you. Cool beans. Ken, I know you're dying to hear everything you can about this because you're getting in on it. You're going to join the revolution. Steve, how's it going, Steve? Long time no see. Yeah, so I had a commercial shoot the other day. Had to shoot a photograph. I shouldn't say shoot, photograph. A board meeting at a law firm, and then do some office shots, so architectural, so line things up. I did some where I actually used my Pro Media Gear tripod, and then I had the 11 to 24 at 24 millimeters, so you put the camera vertically, and then you take a frame and you stitch them across. I also did HDR, and I let the camera do it automatically inside to see how that function would work, so I could show you the frames, show you the files, and then we'll actually make a print. So let's dive in here. Let me pull some things open. And remember, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the feed. All right, let's flip this bad boy around, see if I can do this one-handed, and go. So I have yet to download. I just received a beta version of Canon DPP to work with the raw files, but it's been just kind of crazy busy. So you can see you can custom name the R, so that's cool. It's BDX5, so there we go. So here's a grid of some images that I've selected. So you could see we're doing HDR, multiple shots, and then you take a frame of each one. So for example, we would take a frame this way vertically, and so on, go through, and then I would use Lightroom to stitch them together in a panel, right? So I did do a comparison, but it's not a fair comparison. So you saw the frame numbers here. This is BDX4. So this is with my 5D Mark IV, and those are raw files, right? So I just wanted to see the difference. There is definitely more dynamic range in a raw file than in a JPEG, but it still proved to be beautiful. So here is the stitched panel from the R, right? And you really can't appreciate it, but there is wonderful detail here. And remember, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames with the 11 to 24 on the EOSR using the EF to EFR converter with the controller. All right, so nice image here. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to the printer. So let's open up in the print dialog box here. So I've already got it set up. And I'm going to make a print, get it going with the Pro 1000 printer on Hahnemühle PhotoRag Pearl Fine Art paper. And then I'm also going to make one black and white one just to see what it is. I've got a assignment this afternoon. I'm going to take the camera out to Wrigley Field and photograph the Cubs game, do more pictorials, more panoramas, and throw the 600 on and see what it does for sports. What I do have to talk about on this is manual focus. The manual focus features with peaking on this, oh my God, it goes back to my days of being able to actually manually focus. I have muscle memory. My 1DX 5D Mark IV, the way the screens are set up, you no longer have that split prism, so it's really hard to manually focus the images in low light. But because of the feature of peaking, and they have these little focus arrows, so when you're too far, the arrows point this way. If you go across, they go like this. And when you're in focus, everything lines up, and then you get the peaking. So the outline of peaking means when everything is in focus, you could have it as red, green, bright, dim. You could customize that feature. And I was manually focusing this thing on some birds, like, oh my God, this is fantastic. I could go back to manual focus. So that was incredible to be able to have those focus aids right in the EVF, in the electronic viewfinder. So sometimes you get into critical low light, you don't want to mess around, or macro shots or tweaking things. Autofocus relies on brightness and contrast. So for example, today at the Cubs game, if I'm using the 600 and sometimes it gets backlit, meaning the crowd is in the bright light, the player in a white uniform is in shadow. So sometimes if you're going really fast with any autofocus, it's going to grab the brightest highlight contrastiest spot to lock onto. Now I could say, oh, I know that, and I could just back it off and make sure the player is in focus. So that's huge. That's a huge advantage. And to actually be able to also punch in. So you could use the magnifier right here while you're looking through the EVF to punch in, and it goes in 10 times first and it keeps zooming in on it. So again, you could critical focus like you can on your normal cameras, like a 5D4 1DX Mark II, using live view. So essentially, when we do live view focus on a digital SLR, we are doing exactly what the mirrorless does. We lift that mirror up out of the way, and it focuses right on the imaging sensor. So let me see. Ken asked, is the 11-20 for a fisheye? No, it is not. It's a rectilinear lens. So as long as your level, and this is really important, your level and the height, you're not pitching it up, not pitching it down, is level, you don't get any bowing on the outside edges. Now, again, if you tilt the camera up, tilt it down, you're going to create distortion on the edges. Hey, Will, what's going on? Fred, what's going on? How's it going, my friend? Let's see, any other questions there? I am going to try, I borrowed Zach's. Diego! I borrowed Zach Brakes. He has the 8-15, so to give a complete circle. So I thought that could be pretty cool from the upper deck at Wrigley Field. Bob Ray, thank you, sir. Brittany's online. How's it going, Brittany? We are going to be doing a Surge for Water and Photo Surge Gala this weekend. That's going to be fun for raising funds and awareness for clean water solutions. So if anybody wants to make a donation, please go over to PhotoServe or Surge for Water. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can make a difference in someone's life. All right, so just scrolling through, see if there's any more questions. No questions. Again, put your questions. What's up, Terrell? Put your questions in the feed, and I will get to them later on. Share them out. Share this out. Give me some thumbs up, some love. See what's going on. So here's Pro 1000. Prints in progress. You know, here's a couple other prints, you know, that I've done. This was done with the 1DX. This is Zach Brake from his engagement session. So we mounted a remote camera, the 1DX Mark II with the 16-35 on the trunk deck lid. So that was pretty badass shot, pretty fun. All right, so let's see what's going on. Printer's doing its magic thing. And as I said, I've been playing with different papers. The other night, we did the photo paper, and I've printed some Hahnemühle, some Canon. So those things are all cool. So I'm making this short, sweet, and fast because I'm going to get down to the ballpark early so we can get to photograph batting practice and then share it out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest in the dugout from other photographers that are covering the game. So let me pop back over here to Lightroom. So if you guys have any questions, let me turn on the feed about architecture or anything like that, and stitching the images together, drop them in there. Let's see, focusing with control ring on the lens. No. So Ken, let me walk down here. I'll take you guys with me so we don't have any dead space. Let me go down, I'll get a lens, I'll pop it on the R, and I'll pull up the live view screen, and then that's pretty cool. You could see what's actually going on in the viewfinder. So I'm packing things up here, getting ready, go to the ballpark. So that's the 8-15. I was just going to grab the 50. Here we go, here's the 50, right? So show you the difference. We'll put this on, and I'll show you manual focus. And the 51.2, been using that a lot, and it's just amazing. Like I said, this whole mirrorless thing has breathed new life into a lot of my lenses at using them wide open, like my lens, the 200 1.8. right, so I'm going to pop the lens on the R, and I always turn the power off because this is an electrostatic charge device, the image sensor, and it will suck any environmental dust right in. So you line it up, red line to red line, nice solid mount. So here we go. Now, let's see if I could do this. Manual focus, it's on, turn the camera on, and here we go. Okay, so let's flip this around. I should probably do it this way so things aren't backward, right? All right. So here's the manual focus feature, right? So let me, again, finagle this a second so I could get the lens up on something so we could actually put something in focus. There we go. So can you guys see this all right? Audio good, everything working? So I'm gonna move this. So if we look here really quick, you can see, come on, iPhone, you could see those focus marks, right? The little crown type thing right here, dealio. So you could see the center one confirms and the wide marks. So watch as I turn the focus ring. There we go. See, oops, see those arrows moving, right? That's badass, man. That means that's in focus when you get the confirmation. You go too far and they spread apart, and it's very subtle. And while it's focused electronically, it's very smooth. So what Ken was asking about, do you use the control ring to focus? No, the control ring is something you use to assign custom functions to. Currently, I have mine set for exposure compensation. This is your focus ring, and then on a zoom lens, you would have a zoom ring. Now, a non-EFR lens, the control ring is on the adapter, which is back here, and it's not used for focus. You use your normal focus ring to focus. All right, let's take a look at that print. I missized it. I didn't tell it the proper size because I'm kind of in a rush here to get out to the ballpark, but if you can see, it printed amazing, right? Let's see, can I hold this up? Cool beans. Yep. And this is 6 JPEG images stitched together. Beautiful. And I HDR'd the image too. So meaning I took at least 3 shots of each frame and then made the one picture and then put those final images all together to get the dynamic range from out the window, midtones to shadow side. So that worked beautifully. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So let me bring the feedback up and see if you guys got any questions on the focus. Again, I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I got to drive down to the ballpark. Sorry about this. It's a little bit harder. So let's see. Any questions? Fred. What's going on? Jonathan Miano, how the heck are you, man? Haven't seen you in a long time. Been a while. No other questions? All right. Cool, man. Oh, Terrell. Are you going to use the new 600? I wish, Terrell. I wish. Not yet. I still have my 600, which is a legacy version 1. It's, what's the term Canon uses? It's out of service life. But what's cool is if it performs amazingly well with our legacy lenses, it's going to perform so much better with the newer lenses, right? Because they're kind of going hand in hand. Like I said, the new life it brought to me and my awareness with the 200-1.8, I had every frame in focus with the 200-1.8 using the EOSR, which I've never had that accuracy before because it really is narrow focus unless I was using live view. When I was photographing Willow Star the other day, that was a live action scene. She's moving, she's walking, and I'm using the 200-1.8. Yeah, it just performed amazingly well. What else was I going to say? Oh, motor drive speed. So in high-speed AI servo, this shoots at 5 frames per second. One shot, it focuses, shouldn't say focuses, I'm sorry. In AI servo, it will capture 5 frames per second. In one shot, it does 8 frames per second. But because I still have muscle memory for manual focus, Willow was running away from me with the 200 1/8, and with that focus aid, I was focusing on her in manual, and again, it worked amazingly well. Then you're right back up there to 8 frames per second, right? So that's a thing, like if you want to photograph sports with it, you got to know that in servo, because of the way it's focusing, this version of the R is at 5 frames per second. I'm hoping that when Canon comes out with the Pro version of the mirrorless R, call it an R1 Pro Series, that it'll have 2 card slots. It'll be up around 10, 12 frames per second in AI servo, and we won't have any of those other concerns. It's pretty rugged, very good feel, good weather sealing. That's about all I'd want to see in a Pro version, you know, just more responsiveness so you could actually use it for wildlife, use it for sports. Like, here, check out this image, right? There'd be no way I could even attempt this with the R, right? So this is a cheetah going full speed in pursuit of lunch. And this was, of course, I'm on a moving vehicle that's bouncing because we're trying to, you know, keep within a respectable distance and photograph it. So this is a 600, and this is the 600 V2 version 2, 3200th of a second shutter speed. And, you know, once you locked onto the cheetah, it just crazy. Look at that, this poor little dude hit the ground so hard he fractured his leg. So, but that's the circle of life, right? Yeah. All right, so right now the R would not be the tool that I would use for this. But my wedding work, corporate work, you betcha I would use this all day long for here. You know, all day long, no problem. Shots like this for weddings, it's going to make me rethink my camera of choice, especially when the Pro one comes out. So I could see myself, like I do now, I use 1DX Mark II and a 5D Mark IV. Those are the 2 cameras I have with me on me at a wedding day. All right, folks, I'm going to head out. And again, like on Saturday, it's just me solo. So I'm going to try and pop in and out with a few lives, show you the view, show you what I'm doing. It's going to be all the R and see what shakes out. All right, folks, thanks for joining. Drop your questions in the feed. Share this out if you find it of use. And give me some thumbs up. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.